I just want to welcome everybody to the Lunch and Learn today, helping businesses with interns with Beth Slaughter, the District Development Coordinator. Just a couple announcements. We do have, there's a solopreneur this Thursday. If anybody wants to join in, you can still register for that. That is post-pandemic marketing strategies. We are with Victoria Cook is going to be the speaker, and that's at noon. We have our golf outing coming out it's coming up June 28th. You can see it, check it out on the website. And then Splurge Retail Week, May 1st through 8th. So check out all the great deals that's going to be going on. I'd like to introduce Beth, the District Development Coordinator for District 95. Beth, if you want to go ahead and you can start taking off, or do you want to introduce everybody? Want to just say hello? Go down.
Well, yeah, I just thought maybe if everybody doesn't mind a real quick, just kind of so I get to know who's in the audience today.
Sure. So why don't we start Leslie? Why don't Leslie Day?
Sure, yeah, Leslie Day. I'm on the program committee that Mike is chairing, and I do HR consulting for small and middle-sized companies. You got to have an employee for me to worry about it, but Leslie Day HR consulting.
Great. Mike
Iser with Affiliated Insurance and Risk Management Advisors. I chair the program committee. And any kind of insurance, just take a look at our Facebook page. I got postings up there all the time, not about always insurance, but just good information for business owners at this point.
Great. Brian?
Yes, I am Brian Maddy, owner of Generation Painting. And if anybody has any leads on any painters looking for work, send them my way.
Great. Kasha?
Hi, Kasha with photography, offering studio and location photography for businesses. Do a lot of headshots, product shots, interior photography. And if anyone needs refreshing the branding for the website, I'm here in Uganda with my studio open all the time, or when I have to.
Great. Francis?
Hi there, Frances Simons, designated managing broker with Baird & Warner in downtown Lake Zurich, serving all of the surrounding communities. And we're here to help our buyer and seller clients navigate this crazy, fast-paced market with ease.
And it's Suzanne. And Joe.
Hi, I'm Suzanne from Valley's Bridal and Boutique and Mr. Tux's Formal Wear, and I'm also an internship program user. So I'm very excited to be here. And yeah, if you need any dresses or tuxedos, come my way.
Great. Joe?
Well, and Suzanne, if later on in the talk you could share with everybody your experience with having had interns, and I think that would be great if you could do that.
Happy to do that.
Thank you. Okay, cool.
And Joe?
Hear me or no?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm Joe Janicki. I'm with Brightway Insurance in Lake Zurich. We are a personal lines insurance broker representing 50 or so different insurance brands.
Great. I know that we just had a couple more just joined in, so we're just giving a little bit about ourselves so that we get to know who's on this call. So Matt Rudy.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Rudy from Cedar Lake Assisted Living and Memory Care here. Yeah.
Perfect. And then I think Jory.
Hi, Jory Schaefer with, I know lots of people on here. That's cool. Jory Schaefer with N2 Publishing and the Hawthorne Woods Country Club Lifestyle Publication. Happy to be here. Wondering if I can get some interns. Need some help over here. Beth, I don't know if you remember.
We can get y'all set up. So
Lakeside Mom and Tots goes way itty bitty back.
Perfect. I think that's everybody so far that's on the call. So Beth, if you want to go ahead and take it over.
Great. So I just wanted to start out by just thanking everybody for taking time this afternoon. It's great to see all the familiar faces and the new faces. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I look forward to getting to know more about you and your business. Excited to share how you can get involved with students and host a student intern. So a little bit about just my role. I have the pleasure of being able to work with great organizations, business owners like yourselves, as well as the students. So I'm really kind of connecting the two, providing opportunities to inspire these future generations, show them, teach them what they don't know yet. And it's just a great way to connect the community to our students and staff. So today we're going to really focus a lot on the actual internship program. What it is, what it isn't, what the time commitment is, how it's set up, how compensation works, essentially all the nuts and bolts of our internship program, which is now entering its 4th year and growing. And that's super exciting. But there's always opportunities to partner with more. And so that's why we're having the conversation today. I'll talk a little bit about kind of like why hosting an intern, like the benefits for you as a business owner. And then I'm going to briefly touch upon some other opportunities that you can engage with our students and staff through our entrepreneurship curriculum, and then an ongoing program where we do mock interviews with students, again, giving them those very safe first experiences. Now, while the stakes are low, I like to say, and it's like a comfortable situation, just preparing them for their next steps, for their future. So the internship itself will allow our students to step outside of the classroom and then really go to work, right? They're going to be assigned specific projects. Yes. Does somebody have a question? I'm sorry. Okay. It's going to allow them to test drive kind of something they're interested in, let them learn more about really what the day-to-day is, what the skills are required, what kind of certifications, what kind of education is required. Now, while they have, so much ahead of them, right? And it's an opportunity for them to align what they're doing in the classroom through coursework and then apply it in like an authentic learning opportunity. They're also getting the pleasure and the honor to work with professionals like yourself. You can be that mentor, that role model, that resource to them to help them navigate their path forward. They're starting to kind of build that professional network, and we do everything very closely aligned and modeling and following kind of the real world practice. So an internship is not a job. We need to make that clear distinction. It really is designed to have clear learning objectives and goals for the student. They need regular feedback from you, the mentor. Again, they don't know what they don't know. They're in their learning process. They have a lot of ideas. I don't know, again, if many of you have children of your own, I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know, right? So we set this up together between the business and the students, where it's going to be like task-oriented, project-based. We're going to define that work schedule, give it a time frame, expectations, and kind of coach them, mentor them through that process. So you're welcoming them into your business, but for like a very defined, hey, maybe there's those things that you're always wanting to get done and you don't find the time to do that. Well, that's a great project, right? To bring an intern on to take a look at inventory, how many of these items do you sell? What's the price point? Do things at a price point sell better or not? Maybe projects where you need to reach your customers and you want to do some sort of like a promotion gift, kind of thing. They can be involved with all aspects of that, right? They may be identifying what you're going to need, making lists, figuring out the costs, bringing it back to you, talking to you about, okay, so you wanted to do this, right? You wanted to give, all your clients a pie and have it delivered or something like that. Okay, what's your database look like? Let's take a look at that. Where are they? How are you going to get it to them? Are you shipping it? Are you picking it up? Things like that. But again, based on something that you're already currently doing in your business or something that you hope to do with your business, along the lines of sort of that, social media technology. Our students are very savvy, right, with a lot of the tools, and be surprised, they're going to teach you a few things as well, right? So it's creating what's going to work for you, creating the experience for the student, kind of myself and you work to define all of that out. Then I'm going to work to connect you with those students themselves. I'm going to stop this share and show you. I want to show you what the actual, I think you can see this now, like what a internship posting is going to look like. Okay, so you're going to get your branding and awareness, right? And we're going to set a date when the students are able to start applying.
Beth, I don't see it. I don't know if you have it up, but it's not
Oops,
up.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes you're just, let me go back to here. Yeah, okay. I was talking to it, but I didn't share it with you. Wasn't that nice of me? Okay, now you see it. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna determine when we're gonna start the posting, accept applications, define, you know, the time commitment. And so the internships can occur year round. So you can look at your business and see, you know, does this make better sense over the summer? Does this make better sense in the fall, in the winter, in the spring, across the school year? You know, we really are going to customize it to what your needs are as a business and what type of projects that you're going to allow students to engage with and enhance your business. We'll define if it is paid or unpaid. We're going to give the students like a description of what it is. We're going to lay out those project learning objectives, always building in the requirements. You're tending to see upper level, like junior, senior level students. You know, occasionally we will see if it's appropriate for a sophomore. We do have some that are able to do that just based on, you know, their project and the students themselves, kind of their maturity level and where they're at. So we're gonna work all that out together and then post it. Then students are going to have the opportunity to submit their cover letter and resume. I do like a pre-screen and review everything. I work with the students, talk about, then present them to you. Then we're going to go through, you know, the interview process, and ultimately you make the selection from the students. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. Okay. And so we make the process super, super easy. You just complete a quick interest form that just helps me to understand kind of who you are, your business, what you're looking for. Then we're going to set up a time to talk. We're going to work together to create that posting. Never will it be posted before you give your full approval, and we kind of, you know, wordsmith and make it work. The students are going to submit their application. As I said, we do have them do a formal cover letter, resume. I'm going to kind of pre-screen. Then, you know, you're going to review those candidates. We're going to talk to candidates, you know, bring them in for an interview. Throughout their process, they're going to be asked to do kind of evaluations and reflections. And we're going to also ask you to provide them that feedback. And ultimately, at the end, they're going to be asked to present to our Board of Education about this experience and how it's benefited them, how, you know, what they've taken away. You know, we'll set up those kind of learning objectives and goals, but what I found through the years, you know, some of those other things that we don't intentionally build in are already there, right? Like just things like, you know, being respectful, showing up on time, how you communicate, you know, all of that.
We're not seeing your slides. Beth.
Okay, yep,
If you
see,
give
I
them
did
up.
that again. Okay, hold on, sorry, thank you. Okay, I have to come back to this part. Okay, so here, let's just make sure. I'm going to kind of go back. Okay. Okay, feel like we're here. So, you know, the nice thing is it's bringing to the business fresh ideas and energy. You're getting assistance with projects and tasks. You can feel the pride in contributing to, creating this highly skilled workforce. You're giving back in your community and making a difference in students' lives. So it's really kind of a win-win. There's really no downside, right? Sometimes I say, like, take the risk. Let's work together. Let's, figure it out. And, I think that you will come to know, the value that you take away from these experiences. I thought I would kind of highlight some of our chamber members that are internship partners. And as Suzanne said, she currently has an intern with Mr. Tux Valley's Bridal. And, I guess, Suzanne, can I put you on the spot and ask you to speak?
Sure. I'm not going to show my face because it's my day off and I don't look as cute as I want to. So yeah, things have been great. We have worked closely with Beth and have an intern at Mr. Tux right now, and he's doing a great job. We meet with him and talk about some social media posts to give him a little experience with that. And he's really just learning like the day-to-day of what it is to work at a tuxedo store, as well as, sort of see the business run and what's important, how to talk to customers, how not to talk to customers. And hopefully that bleeds also into his everyday. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought I would kind of show, okay, yeah, got it. I see what happened here. Now I'm apologize for the technology stuff. Okay. So, the chamber has been with this program since the get-go. They were one of our initial charter members. And so, they have found that by bringing the intern in, they're able to be more effective with their time, because certain things, going out to chamber businesses, talking about what chamber is, helping to expand the membership of the chamber, the specific events that they typically will be involved in, like the golf outing, the expo, the Taste of the Towns event. The student gets a lot of just that real world experience with sort of the marketing, customer service, dealing with people, and again, under the guidance of someone like Claire, sort of saying, yep, that's good. Okay, go do this. Bring that back to me. And let's take it from there. And, we're targeting a student who's interested in something like marketing, sales, business. We're aligning these internships with what the student is thinking about after they graduate high school. Again, trying to help them see the, what it is, what it isn't. Is this really what they want? Is it what they thought? What kind of certifications, what kind of education, what kind of jobs even, right, can come out of any of the, whether it's a business or a STEM or something that's more, political science, law, what can you do with those things? A lot of times there's those degrees, but you can use them in many different ways. Another partner, so Ginny and Ben Opsal have had an intern and loved her so much that, they just ready to hire her to continue and help. You can see that just like the creativity, the skills, the initiative that the students take, being reliable, dependable, can really, just enhance what you're already doing. Ancient Oaks is one of our not-for-profit organizations in the community. So our students that are interested in environmental sciences, love an opportunity to kind of step into Ancient Oaks and, see things from that different perspective, right? Corporate versus not-for-profit. Really hard to get volunteers, really hard to get money. Right? They attend board meetings. They go to the different like sites, they might meet with the arborist, things like that are weaved into the experience, to show a student truly what this can look like. So some of the nuts and bolts here, for it to be considered an internship by the Illinois State Board of Education, then we're looking at a minimum of 60 hours. This can be accomplished in a one-time, 60-hour experience, or it can be broken up into 2 30-hour, what we call micro internships. Again, that's going to be driven by what you're thinking in terms of the projects. Like, what can a student step in and support you in your business? What's reasonable, or two, hey, I want to give it a try for this, and then maybe ultimately you will adjust moving forward. The goal here is to have this be an ongoing year over year or summer over summer experience with you as an internship host. However, we're going to ask you to take a chance on new students, right? To give as many students as we can the opportunity to step outside the classroom and have a real world experience. As I mentioned, it can take place year round. So we're going to determine what fits best with your business. Honestly, a lot do end up over the summer, but we've expanded to doing it during the school year as well. So if your business does allow for that, meaning you're not like a typical 9 to 5 only, and there's the opportunity for after school hours and evening hours, then we would look to do, that during the school year. Another question that comes up commonly is just, if you don't have like a physical office space, that does not preclude you from having an intern. We just ask that all those meetings take place in a public space. The ELA library, a local copy shop, the chamber office has offered, that if it's available, meeting there. There's never, if your business is an at-home business, the student is not allowed to come to your home. You have to meet with them in a public domain. Internships can be paid or unpaid. Again, we'll work together to determine, if that's a rate per hour, if that's an honorarium that is supported through our district education foundation, and we also can offer unpaid internships as well. I guess before I move on too far, I guess I'd like to kind of open it up for questions. I don't want this to be like a one-way, kind of conversation. I want to know what you want to know about internships, about, do you have any reservations? Do you have, more questions? So.
I have a question. The 30 hours micro internship or 160-hour internship, how's the, can you explain?
Okay, so what I'm saying is like say you have more of a short-term need, right? Like you feel like, okay, so right now is my busiest time and I'm gearing up because I do all these like weddings or something, right? And so you really want to focus on your customer database, or you want to focus on, new locations for the shoots, or, I'm just kind of like giving, general kind of things. So you may elect and say, I feel like, over this time period, say, the next 3 months, that really, I'm looking for about 30 hours of time, the student working on the project, versus 60 hours, more on an ongoing basis, right? Where you might take them in and have multiple projects that they're going to be working on.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be like full Monday, Friday. I can do like 5 hours.
Definitely not Monday, Friday. No.
Okay, and I just not like, because with I don't really have, every day 9 to 5 schedule. And then, so I have to do like 2 to 30, like for example, like 2 months, I can do the 30 hours, and then a month later, we can continue the 30 hours.
Well, so we would just determine, again, the scope of like what you're looking for. So say you wanted something specific about, this, I'm going to look at building this out, and these are the tasks, and these are the, so I'm going to start with this like 30-hour time frame. I want it to be, June to August. Then we're going to figure out, okay, so that's going to be about 4 to 6 hours twice a week. That's
Mhm.
going to be, you know, like we'll work with, you know, is that 1 to 3, Tuesdays, Thursdays? Is that, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for just 2 hours, you know, like, because as you know, like if you think about how you run your business, I mean, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
you have different needs at different times based on, so we work with you to
It's a very
assess the
flexible.
schedule.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you have to understand students are students first. Sometimes like in the summer, even if you're taking summer school, they're going to go on a vacation, you know, we build all that in. We talk to them about like, what's your availability? What, you know, okay, so you're basically going to be available any day after 10 a.m. because you have this commitment here. And then we make sure that that works with what your timing and your needs.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay. Other people.
Beth,
I have,
oh,
go ahead, please.
oh, I have a question about maximum or minimum based on what you've seen for like a weekly commitment from students. Do you find that there's like a best practice of you don't want someone to have less than this many days or hours per week? You don't want someone to have this many more. Do you find that students strain themselves or can't develop the kind of sustained relationships if they're on one end or the other?
No, I mean, they typically, like, they know what they're involved in. They know what they have. They know what their other commitments are. I mean, I stress with them up front what that is, right? And then again, we're going to build out that schedule. So it might be that, yes, you're going to do like just 2 hours blocks, right? Maybe twice, 3 times a week to get maybe 6 hours in a week. Or you may say, nope, we're going to, you know, have one full 8-hour day, you know. We're going to build that into what we're doing. And, you know, like when we look at things in terms of a cycle, we're probably looking, you know, summer, or we're looking like fall, or we're looking like spring, you know, maybe like 3-month, 4-month kind of time blocks. And, you know, sometimes we've had like the district foundation does it from, you know, the fall to the end of the school year, right? So they're going to get their 60 hours across an entire school year. We'll work together to kind of, what are the types of things that students can engage in within your organization to benefit what you're currently doing, maybe free up some of your time, that they could, you know, run activities with your residents. They could, you know, again, from start to finish, come up with what is the activity, a description, the supplies needed, what's the cost of the supplies, right? And then the actual execution of, you know, of those activities. And so maybe an activity is you're going to do 5 activities over the summer that they're going to be like coming up with that calendar, figuring out, you know, okay. And you're going to give them that budgetary, nope, it's got to be all recycled items. It's got to be, you know, we have no budget for anything. Or, you know what, you're going to have $25 to spend per project that you have. You have the 5 projects. That's what, you know.
Yeah.
Because again, that's how they're learning, right? They're going to have to figure out how to make it work like we do every day in our lives, right?
That's great. Thank you.
I could provide a little bit of info on the question of pay. There are some employment laws out there related to interns. They clarified those in recent years. And, you know, if you're going to pay the intern, the minimum wage in Illinois is currently $11 an hour, but youth has a lower rate. So you could go down to $8.50 an hour for a paid internship. And they would need to get overtime if that was to occur. So, you know, they are at that point an employee. However, if you choose to consider the route of an unpaid intern, there are 2 options. One, Beth helped me understand that there are some opportunities for, instead of you putting a person on payroll, let's say you don't have payroll, you can give the equivalent money to the Lake Zurich High School Foundation.
It's the District 95 Education Foundation. Yeah.
And then they would essentially employ that intern, and that would provide also some of the legal kind of protections, like you would never want to have an intern do any kind of unsafe work or where they could potentially kind of get hurt because workers' comp insurance, some of the issues related to that. If you do want to have an intern that you don't pay for, out of payroll. There are some restrictions. What the government says is that an unpaid intern is supposed to be there for the benefit of the intern, not for you as your business. So it should not offset a job that you would have paid somebody to do. That it should be so that none of your employees lose hours or pay, or somebody doesn't lose a job because of an intern. So an unpaid intern is kind of like not so much a doer, but an observer, or somebody who's doing something that will enhance their skills. It's an opportunity for you to be able to give back to that student, even if you're going to be paying the foundation and don't have payroll, or if they're absolutely unpaid, they should not be doing any direct work that you would pay people to do, or that you would have saved from having an outside paid person do. So that's kind of what makes an intern unique from just hiring summer help, if you want to think about it that way. If you have questions on that, I do have some articles that I can send you on, what the lawyers are saying about how to make sure you got your tail covered with having an unpaid intern. But again, we want to realize, of course, not having them in a circumstance where they might get hurt. I did have an intern, one of my clients who was working actually with his father, who was an employee, get really badly hurt. And it was just a very bad scenario. Now, is that, it's not going to happen, especially since so many of us work out of our home office. We might meet them one time at the chamber or something, and then pretty much the rest of the time we're going to be, talking to them on the phone or emailing or things like that, which does insulate us a lot. Sorry, that's my background noise here. But if you have any questions on pay, Beth can help you, I can help you, and that's free. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I work with you. The nice thing about kind of the district having a me, is just that we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that it's meeting your needs as well as providing this experience for the students. We understand kind of, the variety of ways to structure things. So, I mean, as much as there is sort of these general parameters, right? We work together to see what makes sense for both sides.
Beth, what have you found to be the most successful internships that you've had?
Well, I mean, all of them are successful. So I think you have to look at the criteria, right? Because the students are learning through this experience, right? They're learning, kind of those core, just like life skills, as well as the specific practical things, right? I've fortunately not ever had a host, they pretty much want to hire these students, but I can't let you do that because they are still students. And we want you to take that chance with another student, right? And give that other student the experience. They appreciate and value the time they get to spend with you as a business professional, and just opening their eyes, consider them just like that sponge, right? They're kind of like, wow, this is so cool. So things that you maybe do time and time again, and would think were pretty mundane and boring, they get really, really excited about. And, for them to feel like they're on the job, going to your company, being a part of what you're doing and, contributing in that way. There's just nothing more to be said about that.
I have a question about, let's say, continuation. So an intern that's assigned fulfills their 60 hours and they move on. And is there typically a regular flow? Obviously, there needs to be a good match, right? The student needs to have an interest. But is there usually a likelihood of continued, or is there opportunity for interruptions in that? And I asked for a number of reasons, because as I'm listening, I'm thinking of, just being a hop and a skip from the school, a number of different applications that we could afford an intern here that would be mutually beneficial. But then also, just prior to the pandemic, the state license law changed the licensure age from 21 to 18. So it's really an opportunity for prospective students to explore real estate as a career, now, especially if they're not minded right now to go away to school, or if they're going to go to a community college and stay local for a while to learn about this as a career, potential career for them. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, that's actually, Francis, how this started. Actually, the first student that did our real estate internship, Sandra Frampton, was our sort of, pioneer, because we had a specific student thinking along exactly those lines. And so matching, Sandra with the student, and then, kind of letting her get a feel for what that looks like, right? Sandra was great at showing her about what it was going to take, when she turned 18, because generally for our students, a small percentage are going to actually turn 18 the second semester of their senior year, right?
Right.
So, but to be able to step right out of high school into that and understand what it takes. And that's the goal here. So
yeah, and that would be great. We're a pre-licensing school as well for the state. So to provide them exposure into a potential career, and then they can also take that next step, would be kind of a nice path potentially for them.
Right. And just, that understanding of like what's involved in terms of a lot of, communication, both written and oral, dealing with people, all kinds of people, right? I think that grit piece, right? You spend a lot of time with people and it may or may not end up coming to, a financial benefit for you, right? In what you do. The marketing component of it, your branding, right? Who you are and what you represent and why you stand out from others, right? In a very competitive field, right? Where there's just thousands and thousands and thousands, right? Of real estate agents in our community alone.
Right.
The nice thing is, it can be sort of more of a part-time, it can be a full-time, it's portable, it's available here, but you can get licensed in another state, right? So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, and even just internally with some new programs we've rolled out that are more support type programs that would give them good insights into things that would connect to marketing, branding, and exposure to those things. So yeah, kind of exciting.
Yeah. And again, like Ginny and Ben have also been great partners. They're about to take on their second intern. So.
Great, good to hear.
Yep.
I have a question. So is there because of all different businesses wanting like interns or looking for interns, is there a couple of things? Is there a number per business that can only have one or two, or
Nope.
it doesn't matter?
We've had ones that have had, more than one. I just would kind of say you don't want to overextend yourself. So, I probably would limit you to some extent, but keep in mind we have, about close to 1,800 students at the high school. Cut that in half and say we have like 900 at the, kind of junior, senior level, right? That's a lot of students.
Yeah. So last summer I had my son and his best friend come and work for a couple of months, and it would be great to get a couple other high schoolers wanting to do field work compared to office work. So I wouldn't mind getting I'm about to land a contract for a office downtown Lake Zurich. And so I'm looking for a office manager, but along with everything that like my brain and my business needs to do with the office manager, that intern could take some of that from the office manager and do that as these little like projects, if you will.
Right.
And so I paid my son and his best friend $12 an hour, and they were covered. They're not going to be going up 40-foot ladders. They're going to begin just learning to work with older men, and learn the culture and the trades, because it's different from going to Chipotle or a realtor or something. It's more hands-on.
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
and being accountable for, you know, if they're late, blah, 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 and so on. But on the other hand, football has a whole different year last summer.
Mhm.
So this year is going to be hard because the sports are going to be back on for
Starting
those
back
who
up. Mhm.
want the intern, and they have 8 to 10 or 8 to 12. And so,
Well, that's why, again, they're not going to be working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. That's not the intent of this, right?
yeah, no,
Smaller, and it's about tasks and projects, right? So maybe like for you, you know, looking at kind of your customer base and growing it, whether that's through social media and marketing, or, you know, again, just inventory of supplies and like how many jobs you have and how many ladders and, you know, paintbrushes and whatever, you know what I mean? To really get a sense on where you're at, what your needs are. Yeah, we're not having them on the 40-foot ladder. We're not doing that.
so, okay.
So yeah, it's really more, again, I can't stress enough that a lot of this is just kind of taking the chance, having the conversation. Again, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and we're not going to move forward, right? But, you know, just looking for people interested in how this could benefit your business, you know, how we could work together, what kinds of projects a student could get involved in within your organization. You know, and building that, you know, and so again, whether you are the painting business, but you really need somebody to look and make graphs and, you know, charts and look at numbers, right? Then somebody's more interested in that, accounting, finance, you know, kind of those sort of things is going to be gravitating. So it may or may not have direct relationship to who you are as a business, right? You know, same like a lot of, you know, our manufacturing partners, you know, that we're working with, just looking at, you know, hey, you could step into this amazing career out of high school, right? And they're going to train you and they're going to give you all of the credentialing. They're going to pay for you to continue your education. You know, our Cosmos students are starting to work with Bonnie at Avalon, and go in and they're, you know, washing hair or their guest services, they're doing things like that to understand, you know, what the industry looks like, what the possibilities are, what kind of, you know, what kind of training and certifications are required. You know, do you need to go on for a 2-year or 4-year degree? That's a great question these days, right? Some jobs and some positions, clearly, yes, you must, and some do not. So we, you know, we have a wide, diverse population at the high school. Students definitely have lots of ideas of what they do want to check out. And we're just looking to, you know, create this kind of learning opportunity with known entities, right? Like we're going to be working together. You're in our community, we're in your community. We're going to, you know, put, you know, make sure that it is the right fit, right? On both sides. So do others have questions?
Is there a list of super organized people on the list of interns?
Well, we will find, you know, again, if like the organization and the time management and those are the criteria, that's what we're going to build into the posting. And that's the conversation that we have. You know, again, I have conversations with the students all the time, you know, even before they start this process about what this means and how they're representing their school and their district. And, you know, I mean, they have to take this seriously, right? We're not going to, you know, just, we don't in any way or shape or form want to be like wasting your time or cause this to be some kind of a, you know, extra. We're trying to enhance what you're already doing by giving sort of that energy, fresh eyes, you know, somebody who doesn't see things the same way because, you know what, they haven't had all the experience that we have, right? I mean, again, I'll reflect back to like my own 2 children, you know, like the things and the way they see it is so enlightening. You know, sometimes I kind of wish we could cross back over, right? Like we didn't know what we know now.
So I have actually one more question. So in a case, for example, after, you know, 5-10 hours, sorry about that, if things doesn't work out, we can always just like, you know what, it's a better match and we can always stop the internship. It's not like once you set up contract, you have to like stick with the 60 hours, right? If something doesn't work for some reason, it's something you can.
We're going to do things up front to make sure that we're not, again, they're going to, you know, like have their timesheet. They're gonna have, you know, we're gonna track it through the process. Yeah, but again, that's why it's like 30 hours or 60 hours. I mean, if you think about that in the grand scheme of things, it's not bringing on a full-time employee. It's not a commitment after that, right? We are looking for the commitment for whatever designated time we put forth, right? I mean, again, maybe we haven't had that experience, Kasha, where it's just been a bad fit because we're going to do so much up front to make sure it's not, you know what I mean? And I guess I'd say this too, like the students who aren't going to be a good fit are probably not going to be applying for these. It takes a lot of time and energy on their part, right? I mean, they have to, you know, work on the cover letter, their resume, they're going to get properly dressed. They're going to, you know, they're going to have to go through me first before they're going to, you know, get to you.
Okay, makes sense. And also, I understand they can do more than 8 hours a day, right? Is there any?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I would try work my, you know, anyone like a mule.
Are you
know,
thinking
but
like
not
if they
that.
were
But
with
it's sometimes
you?
I have days, 12 hours, 13 days, you know, on location. So the transportation will be a little bit how I can get you and get you out the location after 8 hours. But this is details, I guess. Again,
Well, and again, they're going to provide their own transportation. You're never providing transportation for them, so they have to be able to have their own transportation. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, because again, we don't want to put you in that position of you're not going to have them in your car and things like that.
Yeah, no, and absolutely.
Right. So they would meet you at the site, right? Like, so I can reflect on like on occasion catering when Kathy was here in town and owned that business, right? She partnered with us. She had a couple of interns, you know, like she would have them work events, but she'd either have them come like set up, work, you know, 4 hours or something like that, or they were doing the prep ahead of time, but they would never be at that event for like the 8, 10, 12 hours that the whole event, right?
Yeah. Okay.
She would also divide them up into different kind of roles within her company. Again, there's a lot of the prep work for the event or the ordering or the logistics and things like that, you know, and then she would have them work an event, but only, you know, maybe 4 or 5 hours or something like that. So.
Okay. Actually, I have one more question. If not, so for example, I mean, I have all full equipment but for example, like if they can bring their own laptop and working of it, or I have to provide everything, which that will be not a problem, but for sometimes for easy, you know, projects and they can bring their own laptop or.
Yes, they generally they can. They all have a district issued iPad. So depending on if that is, you know, kind of that tool works for what you're looking for. You know, they definitely have that. Most students do have laptop. Again, we would build that into like what the criteria is.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Same with other kinds of things, like if you wanted them to have, you know, Adobe, you know, certifications or experience or Canva or, you know, different platforms and things like that, right? We're going to want to understand, you know, like what are you currently using? That's another great benefit is just that, you know, they're getting to see, oh, okay, I see why, you know, Photoshop versus InDesign versus, you know, whatever is so important, right? Because this is how it's used in the real world. This is the application for something that they might be already learning in one of their art and design classes or in their, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
Beth, I was thinking of something based on what Brian said.
Yeah.
Do any of the students in high school have project management training, or is that more of a college thing?
So, I mean, yeah, they probably don't have a certification. I mean, the types of certifications that we might see would be like more in terms of Google certifications, you know.
I mean, just a class so that they understand the concept, the process of.
Yep. I mean, we're getting there. I can't say that we necessarily have something specific like that. I mean, they're in their business classes, they're getting some of that, but not like a class in project management. No.
Okay. So they know a little better. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't really monitoring the chat. Was there something that we haven't discussed yet, or are we good to, do we want to move on?
I didn't see anything.
Okay, so I'm just going to move on really quickly to a few other opportunities where we look for business partners to join us. We have embarked on some entrepreneurship curriculum at both our middle school and our high school level. So the mxINC is at the middle school and the INCubator is at the high school. The mxINC is really focused on kind of reuse, repurpose. So we're looking at, students coming up with some kind of like a solution to a problem they see in their world. This is just one example where it's a dog collar that's built out of a belt and a keychain. And they go through that whole process of coming up with the idea, kind of figuring out what are the financials, what does that look like? What can we use? What makes sense? And the mentors are really there as like, again, that sort of authentic real world entrepreneur that just supports the teacher and the team as they're going through that process. The incubator.
So Beth, that's what you're looking for, mentors then?
So mentors, right. For the mxINC, which is the middle school. So currently it's running at middle school south, and next year it will run at both north and south.
About how much time does that take?
So it's about like 7 class periods across like a couple of months. The teacher works with the mentor for, what the schedule looks like and the different lessons that are being taught and kind of where your expertise fits into what those lessons are. It's a fully kind of vetted curriculum. We just look for sort of importing that real world connection and having the entrepreneurs and business owners participate.
Thank you.
The incubator program at the high school is really more about starting a business, right? And so students, that's a year-long course that they're going to be involved in. Again, looking for, people to share their expertise in kind of market sizing or ideation, storytelling, the legal aspects, things like that. I'll run this real quick because I think this does it better than anything.
Makes the Incubator EDU program so special is the role that volunteers play in the program. They bring real to the classroom. Community members volunteer in various roles in the program. They serve as classroom coaches, teaching alongside the teacher, bringing their expertise to the daily lessons. They serve as mentors, advising a team over the course of the school year, bringing that little idea into a viable business concept. They also serve as board members or judges, hearing pitches at various times during the year and giving advice on the working business concept.
First time I got connected with the program, I realized that this is a place that felt like home. This was a place that felt authentic. It was a place that felt like this is what I should be doing. It was the first time that I was able to take the talents that I had, utilize them in a way that affected people in a very immediate and a very real way and a very long-lasting way.
The incubator program has made a very big impact in our community. Our community members are completely engaged in the program, in the actual learning and student doing.
One of my great fears when I started with this program was that I wouldn't have the time and I wouldn't necessarily be able to make the time to follow through in my commitments. I found that I was actually making time for this as it went on, and I felt that came from the fact that it was producing energy for me, not taking it away.
This has actually become, in my realm of volunteer things, one of the things I look forward to the most, but also something that's actually super manageable.
They can do most of the work on their own. We're here to provide expertise, experience, and really just kind of guide them along the journey. So
there was a lot of times along the way where we were like having second thoughts about things and not sure if we were making the right decisions. But I think like having guidance and support from other people helped us realize that these mistakes are good and that we're able to learn and grow from them and able to just build a better business as a result of that.
It's a lot of life experience and knowledge that you're gaining from other teachers and mentors and coaches. Not only you're not just learning out of books and things like that, you're actually going out and getting this real life experience and you're applying it to this idea that you built, which I think is how learning should be, and then it's the way that we did it, and it's continued to let us succeed.
If you were asked any of my volunteers, mentors, or coaches, they've learned just as much as our students have learned. And so that's what's so great about the collaborative learning environment is that not only do the students gain from the volunteers, but the volunteers gain from the students. I mean, I think that's the sign of a great volunteer opportunity is one where you feel you're getting as much as given. So I keep coming back. I just can't get enough of it.
So the last thing I wanted to mention was twice a year, we invite, professionals to come into the building. We're hopeful. We have the date set for the 2021-2022 school year where you participate as an interviewer. And our students enrolled in our consumer ed course, we bring them in, they're all dressed up, ready to go. They're going to provide you their resume. You just go through the interview process. We provide you the questions and a form to fill out, the feedback that we're asking you to give the student. It's couple hours one morning, twice a year, and it's really a fun experience. You probably recognize many faces. Chamber is very involved in participating in this event. It's been going on for years and years. So I guess any more questions before we have to wrap? And just wanted to say thank you so much. Here's my contact information, and I welcome the opportunity to speak further with anybody who is interested.
Hey, Beth, this was an absolutely great presentation. Lots of information, and hopefully we'll get people to watch the video as well for those people that couldn't make it today. But thank you very much. And Leslie, thank you very much for helping with all of this.
No problem. Yeah, I feel like sometimes there's just too much to say, so I don't even know where to begin. But I just encourage you, I'm happy to have the conversation. I have spoken to Matt a little bit about things. I've spoken to Brian on and off, right? So just happy to have those conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beth?
Yes.
Can you put your contact